Hey guys, welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I, Michelle, document my life here on YouTube as I try to become a full-time author while also traversing the world's multiple personalities. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around. But today we are going to be continuing on with my rough draft challenge, where I am trying to write 30,000 words in the month of November. So let's get into it. Hey guys, today is November 14th. It is a Friday, and I'm planning on this video lasting up until probably Monday, maybe. Like, ended on Monday kind of thing. But the last video I posted on Saturday. Well, this coming Saturday, the 15th. It is a day in the life video. I would love to hear you guys' input on that. I'm thinking about possibly also doing some other challenges in the future, like a 5K day, a 10K weekend, or something kind of, I want to say outlandish like that, but I could, like, to me it sounds outlandish because I've roughly been writing like maybe 2,000 words a day and that's about it. But I also have to remember I'm doing a lot of editing, so it's like, am I doing, I don't know. I'm just thinking that. But so today, we're continuing on with the rough draft challenge. I currently have 12,441 words in the rough draft challenge words done. I am trying to write 30,000 words in one of my projects, which is more specifically a project that I'm doing under the Grace pen name. I don't know what's going on with my pen names and stuff. I'm having a lot on my mind. But I'm currently in the Google Doc. I have 29,906 words written. And that is I had chapters 1 through 12 previously written. That is up to chapter 10, and I'll delete chapter 10 that I have, re-put in the next chapter that I have, and then move on to chapter 11. And then I'll kind of give you guys a word count about that. But in the written Word doc that I have 33,279 words written. Super great. I'm kind of at the end of this month. I would like to see the word count be at 50,000 words. But that's going to happen whenever that's going to happen. Part of me is like, what if I change the rough draft challenge, website to say that I want to write 50,000 words, and then I get to 33,000. Like, then add the 33,000 words that I have. But I'm like, that just seems like then I'll be behind more than I want to be behind, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to write the 30,000 words, and that's good enough for me. But yeah, so working on the rough draft challenge. I am planning, hopefully, this video, like I said, I think I told you guys, to last until Monday, because by then I should be zero drafting my words for Grace's project. Like I said, I already had previously written 12 chapters in the book. This is me getting reacquainted with the story, getting back into it. So today's game plan is to do chapters 10 and chapter 11. Tomorrow's game plan is do 11 and 12, then 12 and start on 13. I don't know how many days I'm going to last on each chapter because I do want this to be pretty polished work. Not necessarily for any particular reason. I do plan on, once I get the story done, I plan on sending it to my editor, but also possibly sending it to some beta readers at the same time. I'm thinking about, I don't know, possibly getting in contact with my friends that I have who used to work at a religious shop in the nearby town, and then also maybe get some, actual, juniors, some high schoolers to kind of get their feedback on it. I don't know, since I'm wanting this book to be traditionally published, or, be as close to traditionally publishing as possible, because, it is a Christian fiction book, I would like to have a Catholic publishing house take it on. I'm I want it to be, I want to see what other kids say about it, if that makes sense. And I just want them to read it. They don't have to necessarily comment, like, well, I would like them to comment, but like, I just want their raw feedback of like what they think of the story, if that makes sense. But that's all in the future. I'm just thinking about it. And also, like, once I get, I'm just talking about the future, but like, whenever I get this draft done, which I think will probably either happen at the end of this month or the end of December, probably. Like, I don't want this project to last more than January, but I might be burned out by the end of November because of the word count. So I'm like, I don't know. But I would like to have this done roughly by the end of the year, and or early next year. And then at that point, I would then switch into gears and write a few more chapter books in. I mean, not chapter books, a few more picture books in Grace's pen name. And then possibly like do that for like a month or two until the edits get back. Then send the chapter books that I have to my editor and have them edit that. I mean, the picture books to the editor and have them edit that, just so I have as clean and polished work as possible so I can send them to publishing houses. And then during that time, probably work on Bugstopia. I'm not planning on working on my other pen name Maris's books for a while, but I've got ideas floating around about it. So I'm like, maybe I should start working on it. But I'm just like, I don't know. I just need to enjoy what I'm doing right now. I need to stop thinking about the future. But also, like, I feel like as an author, you need to kind of think about the future at all times, just because, like, yes, you need to market and work on the book, like, book one, but book one's, like, you're not, like, for me, as I want to be a full-time author, like, book one isn't going to sell millions of copies by itself. Like, you need a series, or you need more books following up to build up a backlist to make your income, Like, I don't know how to word it, but like, so with Bugstopia, I have 6 books written and like an omnibus to go with it, but those aren't going to just magically sell a million copies. Like, I need more. I need to finish out the series of Bugstopia before I can be like, I'm done with that. I can move on to the next series, if that makes sense. Like, I need to build up my backlist. And, like, I love building up the worlds, making the worlds expand even more. And, like, I don't know, like, I think I've told you guys, like, Bugstopia is going to have spin-off chapter books where, like, I follow the Insectopolis PD series. And then I also want to do picture books and maybe graphic novels and other kind of things that require the main story to be done so I can expand. Like, I just want to expand it on. Even though I am thinking, how am I going to do this? Like, I have so many projects ideas, and, like, Bugstopia was written for my nephew, and I'm like, my niece is starting to get a little interested in it, and I'm like, how am I going to throw this new project into it? But we'll figure that out. We will figure this all out as time progresses. But right now, I just need to get into some writing. I feel really good about life right now. I just got back from the grotto. It has a Mary statue. It's a very spiritual place for me. I wanted to go into the church, kind of forgot to. But I prayed the rosary at the grotto, just had a conversation with God, with Mary, and I'm feeling really, really good about myself. So I'm like, I just need to jump into some writing, get, like, not necessarily, like, I need to get back into the space of being like, I can do this kind of thing, and, like, let these vibes that I'm feeling move me and progress me on, because, like, JJ's story, the project I'm working on, like, it is a Catholic book, and I need to, like, bring in the Catholic vibes. I don't know. But that's kind of all I gotta say right now. I will see you guys either today, like, later today, or tomorrow, or whenever. So, I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye! Usually I want to document this, but it is 10:23. I'm currently not doing anything. I haven't been doing anything for the last, like, I would say 30 minutes. I did my first round of edits for chapter 10. I needed a little break, so I took a little break, and then I was going to move on to chapter 11. But right now, everyone is so chatty in my head. I can't even make heads or tails out of what they're saying. They're just active. And it's not necessarily like my main alters that are talking. It's just, I hear the great beyond the wanderers in my head, and I'm just like, I am overwhelmed by them. And I can't get refocused back into writing right now, which I've been doing really good the last several days of not like hearing the chaos necessarily, but it's just like there's some days where I'm just like I struggle because there's just so much noise all the time and it's just so hard. But like I said, like, and I'm terrible. I was ignoring them for a very long time, but I can't ignore them right now. So I'm just gonna go downstairs, eat, listen to some like podcast or just listen to some music. I don't know. I want to continue watching my videos, but if I'm not getting anything out of them, what's the point of watching them? I don't know. I need to replenish my food, I guess. Well, replenish my stamina because I just don't feel like doing anything. I don't even feel like talking. But so my first edit of chapter 10, I added 633 words to the story, bringing my total of written words 13,074 words. Yeah. Hopefully, I eat a little bit, get back into something, and do a little more writing, but I don't know. I also want to go see Grandma, so I don't know. I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye. Usually I want to document this, but it is 10:23. I'm currently not doing anything. I haven't been doing anything for the last, like, I would say 30 minutes. I did my first round of edits for chapter 10. I needed a little break, so I took a little break, and then I was going to move on to chapter 11. But right now, everyone is so chatty in my head. I can't even make heads or tails out of what they're saying. They're just active. And it's not necessarily like my main alters that are talking. It's just, I hear the great beyond the wanderers in my head, and I'm just like, I am overwhelmed by them. And I can't get refocused back into writing right now, which I've been doing really good the last several days of not like hearing the chaos necessarily, but it's just like there's some days where I'm just like I struggle because there's just so much noise all the time and it's just so hard. But like I said, like, and I'm terrible. I was ignoring them for a very long time, but I can't ignore them right now. So I'm just gonna go downstairs, eat, listen to some like podcast or just listen to some music. I don't know. I want to continue watching my videos, but if I'm not getting anything out of them, what's the point of watching them? I don't know. I need to replenish my food, I guess. Well, replenish my stamina because I just don't feel like doing anything. I don't even feel like talking. But so my first edit of chapter 10, I added 633 words to the story, bringing my total of written words 13,074 words. Yeah. Hopefully, I eat a little bit, get back into something, and do a little more writing, but I don't know. I also want to go see Grandma, so I don't know. I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye. Hey guys, it's still the 14th. It is a Friday still. So wasn't feeling good this afternoon. Decided to go to Grandma's and just hang out with her for a little bit. I then came home, wrote chapter 11, added 772 words to the edits, bringing the grand total of words in my story to 34,684 words. I still need to re-edit that book. Re-edit that chapter and then move on to chapter 12, which I don't know if I'm going to do that tomorrow. Like, what time frame I'm going to do it tomorrow. Because from 9:30 to 11:30, I'm planning on going to a town to do a Catholic retreat kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, that's going to take me those 2 hours is going to take me an hour to get there and an hour to come back. So I'm like, okay, that's 3 hours of my day. Well, three hours out of my day. And I'm like, okay. Then after that, I'll have to eat and stuff. So I'm like, if I were to get up at 6 o'clock, eat and pray a rosary, then get into work, I would have roughly an hour and a half to do work before I'd have to worry. And I'm like, is that too much to do? Like, I don't know. I need to get back into getting up at early, but like, I'm like, is 6 o'clock too early to get up? I don't know. It's not too early to get up, it's just, I haven't been getting up at 6 o'clock lately. But I also, like, if I set the alarm, I usually get up, except for this morning, so I don't know. Yeah, so, I don't know. It honestly depends. I think I'm going to try it. I think I'm going to try getting up at 6 tomorrow and start getting to work at 7 o'clock for writing. I think that's the game plan. Yeah. But anyways, that's like kind of all I gotta say for today. The written word count that I've gotten today is 1,405 words. My grand total of words in the Rough Draft Challenge is 13,846 words. I added over 1,000. Tomorrow, hopefully, get to 14,000 words written. If not, maybe 15,000 words written. I don't know. Possibility. But it just depends on the words and how the story's going. Because right now, we're kind of in, like, the first, like, drama sequence, almost. Well, I wouldn't say it's the first, because the first one was, like, JJ's confidence boost. This is, like, his first, like, physical rebellion beside, like, in front of people, like, with an audience, if that makes sense. Like, he's following a crowd that he probably shouldn't, while, in the past, he would have usually just faded away into the background, if that makes sense. So, yeah, we're getting to that point. It's kind of exciting. I like, it is a Catholic book, but JJ's story's not really, like, as Christian grounding, Catholic based as the rest in the series, if that makes sense. Like, this one is just to, like, get everyone's toes, like, kind of dipped in the water, if that makes sense. Which I'm like, is that really how you're supposed to start a Catholic book series? But I'm like, this is the story I've been feeling to tell with him. I can't not tell it. And, you know, if people don't want to pick it up, that's fine. I just will work on the next book. But I'm like, I still think this book could do really, really good. And, like, especially considering it's part of a series, and, like, this will help, like, maybe the reluctant people that are in their faith, like, come into it kind of thing. I don't know, or, like, you know, like, give it to the troubled kids in school, or give it to this, like, kids that no one thinks about, and kind of be like, oh, kind of thing. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. But that's all I've got to say. I will see you guys tomorrow, if not Sunday. Bye. Hey guys, it is day 15 of the Rough Draft Challenge. It is November 15th, I mean. So yesterday I had a lot of ebbs and flows. I did do some writing, which I wrote 1,400 words, but I had a lot of ebbs and flows, wasn't really feeling too good. I did 2 writing sessions, split them up, and then, like, at, like, I want to say, like, 2 or 3, I was just, like, kind of spiraling, but then at, like, 4 to 5, I really was spiraling. Like, I pulled out a notebook that I usually don't pull out anymore, but I pulled out this notebook, and I was, like, plotting out things for the future, you know, like, I was like, I kind of want to get back to releasing the Bugstopia books and getting season 2 out, but I'm, like, I was just trying to plot, like, oh, if I do it this year, I have to start at this time and stuff like that. And I was just overanalyzing it. And I was like, I was going down a deep spiral, and it was just not okay. I was thinking about money. I was thinking of finances. And I was just going to spend all the money that I had. And I'm like, that's not right. That's not what I'm supposed to do. Like, the reason my brother's giving me money each month is to hopefully help me save for the future. And, like, I know books and, like, book sales will eventually help me in the future, but in the present moment, I need to think about more, like, big picture bills, like possibly having to buy a new car or, like, just maintenance on my car because my car is a 2013, I'm pretty sure. Oh, God. I didn't realize how old it was. But it's like an old car. And it also was a police car before that, so it's like, it's got some mileage on it, and I'm like, okay, it's an old car, maybe I have to think about maybe buying a new one or something like that. Granted, I'm not buying a new one, it would be a, like, old new one, or, like, one that has a lot of miles on it. But so I'm like, I need to stop thinking about, like, this future gameplay and just focus on the now. And, like, right now, I just want to write, like, I've been spiraling, and, like, I had a journal session yesterday, which was fantabulous. It was so great. I wrote in my journal for, like, an hour and a half. I was listening to stuff, but I really wasn't listening to it. And I wrote over 2,000 words in my journal, and it was just my alters having conversations with each other and being like, this one particular one was in control, and, like, this person had been in, like, kind of controlling, but we also, like, people are unsure of what to do with her kind of thing. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, people think she's the host or the original, which maybe they think that gives her special treatment. I don't know. It's all super confusing, and we're just like, we need to stop. We just need to stop. And thankfully someone in our head stepped in and was like, stop. Like, you are taking us down a downward spiral. And yes, like, I get right now we are in a rough patch because we just lost our job. We're unemployed again, and who knows what's going on with the government, especially considering we live off the government. Well, live off the government sounds like a bit extreme. But, like, it's just like, you need to relax. You just need to relax. And so, luckily, we were able to, I say luckily, but, like, we were able to get this altar to just take a step back and go into their room. And this person I'm particularly talking about, like, they fluctuate in age, so they age slide a lot. So they don't necessarily have an age, but they do spend, like, they are one of our littles, or, like, childlike altars, just because sometimes they do lean in the more childlike state. And so it's just like they were in their room, in the child's room, the little's room, and I didn't realize what kind of room they had, but it was just like letting them be relieving some stress. I felt bad for them, and I want to do more, like, digging into who they are, because they are a crucial point in our mental health and our life. I don't know, I'm going on this long rant, but, like, I need to do better at communicating with my alters. So today I went into a local church, not into a local church, but I did a retreat recap that I did back in October. So the retreat was back in October. Did a recap today, got to meet some lovely ladies, got to actually know a little more about them, and talk a little bit about my life and just how I feel unworthy of God and stuff. And they were like, that is a belief that you need to not repent, but, like, resent this belief that you're having, because it's not true. And so I'm like, I feel really rejuvenated after that. I plan on going to Mass tonight, doing some confessions. But right now, obviously, I'm writing. It is currently 1:22. Got done with my first writing session. I worked on chapter 11. And, like, even though chapter 11 is kind of a darker chapter, meaning that it's not necessarily very scripturally based. None of JJ's books really scripturally based yet. But it's just like, this is his dark time. This is his rebellion, and it's not a good rebellion kind of thing. Yeah. I went from talking about myself to my spiritual trip to my books. I don't know. I'm on a whole rambly rant, but I'm going to take a little break. I am going to watch a random video and then get back into writing. I don't know how long my break's going to actually last because I typically don't like to take too longer breaks. But yeah, that's kind of all I got to say. I said today's the 15th, and I will see you guys later, okay? Bye. I just got done writing, and all I have to say is, damn, this story has changed. And I'm not sure if I'm ready for the story to change. Now, I feel like I've told you guys this many times. I am a pantser. I write by the seat of the pants. I have to tell the story to myself to be entertained by the story. So then hopefully other people will enjoy it. And I'm at chapter 12, and I'm like, damn, this hits hard. Maybe it just hits me hard because, like, throughout the entire story, like, I'm gonna give you spoilers. Like, I talk, like, JJ's such a person that overanalyzes things, and, like, I say parts of him does this, parts of, like, part of me wants to do this, part of me wants to do that, and, like, I guess I was self-inserting myself into the situation, and I got to chapter 12, and he's literally standing on the ledge of a roof, like, a pretty sketchy place to be, and I'm just like, I just see him standing there outside a window being like, oh shit. Like, all his thoughts, all of his, like, brain processes, like, stopped in that moment, and he was just like, oh shit. And, like, even the story, like, I just envision the chapters getting shorter, like, instead of, like, 3,000 words long stories, it's gonna be shorter, and more, like, quick dialogue and stuff, because JJ's not there. Like, JJ has taken a backseat to this darkness. I'm not sure how I want to play it, like, mental health-wise, like, if it is something like dissociative identity disorder or OSDD, or if it's, like, I don't know, I feel like it almost is, like, maybe, I don't know, I need to do some research on, like, disorders that would cause yourself to separate yourself, almost. And I don't know, like, JJ is literally separating himself from his current situation. But also, like, this darkness, I've just called it the darkness, has, like, consumed him. And it's just like, damn, like, I think we're only at, like, we're at the end of the first act. Like, I don't usually know when the acts of my stories are, but this is at the end of the first act. And it's, like, for the next act of the story, the chapters, like I said, are going to be shorter, they're going to be choppier, they're going to be more dialogue, you know, but also some vacating, like, it's going to be short and choppy. And then I envision the third, like, act 3 to be, like, just a lot of time spaces, like, he's kind of there, kind of not there, he's interacting, but not quite interacting, and then part 4 is going to be, like, I'm back, I feel like I'm ready, and be like, will you help me, kind of thing, and I'm just like, I don't know how to put this, but, like, I feel what JJ's going through, and I'm like, that is why I feel like it is such, like, a DID awareness kind of book, but also got spiritual entities in it, and, like, I don't know. Part of me is like, is this really a spiritual book? But I'm like, this book not necessarily, I say that a lot, but this book is more mental health awareness, but as the series progresses, which it is going to be, like, an interconnected series, like, okay, what I'm envisioning for the series is book 1, JJ's story, is literally the start. Like, this is junior year of high school where everything seems to be falling apart. And then in book 2, we'll follow a different character, but this character is still going to be connected with JJ, if that makes sense. Like, it's interconnected, so all these characters are still combining, but they're all helping each other get through difficult times, if that makes sense. I don't know. I think this could be really interesting. And I don't know, like, I'm just, like, sitting here, I'm like, I think it's spiritual, but is it spiritual? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even done writing the book. I need to just write it, get the story done, and see what happens then. You know? I really don't know what this book is anymore. I think it's spiritual, but I'm also like, it's a lot of mental health right now. And there's a lot of resentment. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Part of me wants to end the video here and just be like, come to discover what else happens in the book in Act 2. And I think, honestly, that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to stop the video here and be like, next video, we're doing Act 2 of JJ's story. Really hitting the story in a different point. Because, like, I can't describe this enough. Like, the story has shifted. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It just shifted. It went from, like, oh, funny, quirky, overanalyzed kid to, like, serious and, like, dark. Yeah. Maybe this story's more like me than I realize. Like, I don't obviously have, like, a spiritual grandfather, like, a religious grandfather, but, like, some of the moments, like, I don't know how to describe it. There's just bits and pieces that feel so connected to me, and I'm like, I don't like this, but also I love it, and I want to keep telling the story, and I'm like, I need to stop, but I don't want to stop, and it's just a lot. So, we're closing out today's video. I'm totally at a loss for words, but I'll do some word counts real quick. So, today I added 1,358 words to the story. I have got 36,042 words written in the documents. That is with one chapter left to edit. I had to add a chapter because chapter 12 needed to end. Yeah, so in the Rough Draft Challenge, I have written over 15,000 words. It is at 15,204 words. In the Google document, I'm at 34,208. So I've got like 2,000 words of written in the Word doc that I will be keeping. I just need to edit it a little bit. And, yeah, this book's intense, and I love it, and also I'm terrified of it. I don't know what else to say, so join me in the next video, where I am hitting this second act of the story hard, and getting ready to tell the darker points of JJ's life. So, I don't know what else to say. I say let's just get into it.